Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Grady. Love it. Love the tie. So I think there's a huge anticipation this morning. This is one of the events I think we all look forward to, the legislative breakfast that we do annually. It's great to have some folks in the house tonight. First of all, thank you to Eaglebrook for having us in this wonderful space today. And most importantly, the dining team that's probably already in the back for supplying us this wonderful breakfast. I also want to thank Greenfield Savings Bank. They're a sponsor this morning. Tom and his team are here in front. I think we all recognize the impact Tom and his team have in our community from a banking perspective, but more so how much you guys sponsor and are a part of. You guys are everywhere. So thank you for that. And of course, another round of applause for our local nonprofit this morning. Featured Pecumtuck. I always say, I've got to slow down when I say that. Pecumtuck Valley Memorial Association. So thank you for all the incredible work you do to preserve everything we have here in our community. Now, to officially kick us off, I'm going to have Tom come up, Greenfield Savings Bank, followed by PVMA's very own Ellen White. Tom.
Thank you. Good morning. So you know who I am. So I'm here to talk about on June 4th of this year, Tara Brewster, who's amazing and works for Greenfield Savings Bank, organized, she's in Disney today with half of my employees, I think. Everyone, for some reason, went this week. Her, AJ Brusciano, Cassie Mora, our chair of the board, Pam Staberski, and myself, because I paid, got a bus and we headed down to the Capitol with almost 50 other nonprofits and profit entities to the end. We went there on a mission to talk to our legislators. We became known as the 413, and it was kind of fun all day long. It's like 413, you need to go there. So I'd like to thank our wonderful team of legislators. Senators, Jo Comerford was amazing. She organized everything. She was there. When we walked in, she was on the third floor window with a camera saying, okay, everybody stop. I'm going to take your picture and wave up. And that was how the day started. And it was continuous throughout the day of directing us to meet people within our capital. We met with the person who's in charge of our tourism, the MOT program, which was amazing. We talked about the east-west train that we hope to get in place. We talked about the housing need, which is critical in our community, talking about adding, turning large buildings or houses into multiple apartments and how we can do that. And then we talked about tourism, I already said that, to transportation, housing, and then food inefficiencies. I think we're all aware, we're a big advocate of the farm that is, my neighbor, Merrill, is the executive director. Just Roots, thank you very much, and the amazing work they do. So, we talked about food inefficiencies and the Bank of Western, the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts, and how that is just grown and has really, really met a lot of needs of our community. And so I just wanted to say that Jo Comerford, Paul Mark, our senators, representatives Natalie Blaze, Lindsay Sabadosa, Suzanne Whips, and Aaron Saunders, and the governor's staff, because I'm telling you, all day we had a great meeting, and we talked about our needs and they talked about things that they're doing for us, but they really listened. And it was also great because we exchanged phone numbers, we exchanged emails, and the group is going to reconvene and try to get together and come up with points and then try to go back to the Capitol in the fall. And I know that Jo Comerford and our legislators will be there to meet them. And they really listened, and the things that they talked about sometimes were They talked a lot about equity. And I think their definition of equity is a little different than ours. We need a little more help on the western side of the state. But they're trying there to really make it even a little slanted this way. I think we talked about that. We'd love to have one of their trains, even if it is one of the ones that were semi-burned, because we could repair it here and we could use that train. So the following day, I was at the annual United Way meeting, which was at Look Park, and it was a great event there as well. But one of the participants came up to me and said, you know, I just want to thank you. With today's uncertainty, with everything that's going on, just being on that bus with the whole group of people that had the same beliefs, that were all there for the same reason, it just really made me feel energized and really excited and go back to work and feel like I'm going to really work at my mission. And it just made me feel like that's why we do it. And that's why we're committed to the community the way we are, because we see it every day. We see the needs of our community. And when you go there and you know, these people, every organization, from United Art to, there's so many organizations that are helping people, but we need them all. So I just wanted to say, in closing, is that, you know, one of our core values is communication. And communication is key between all of us. So keep it up, and we're doing a great job, and we can meet our people's needs. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I think you can hear me okay? Okay. I'm Ellen White. I'm the Office Administrator at Pecumtuck Valley Memorial Association, also known as PVMA in Old Deerfield. PVMA was incorporated 155 years ago in 1870, and it's the oldest historical society in Western Massachusetts, and purposely chooses to remember and honor the Pecumtuck people in their homeland with the organization's legal name. PVMA owns and operates Memorial Hall Museum, a research library, Deerfield Teachers Center, Indian House Children's Museum, and the Old Deerfield Craft Fairs. PVMA makes it a priority to collaborate with other organizations for local events in our community with our community outreach projects. Most recently, the Big Read events that were all over, up and down the valley, and also with our traveling exhibits in Turner's Falls, Holyoke, and in Greenfield. If you're going to the Green River Festival this weekend, you can stop by. Our traveling exhibit about the history of the festival will be there again for the second year. It will be updated and revised, but you can stop by and say hi, especially to Ray Radigan, our curator and assistant director. Our executive director, Tim Newman, who actually was hired 50 years ago this month, yeah, long time. He always likes to help sponsor this special chamber breakfast to show our appreciation to the legislators. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your support of Mass Cultural Council. It's very important. PVMA has created and continues to maintain award-winning educational websites. You might have read in the paper or seen on social media that our latest project for a website is the Lucy Terry Prince project, Lucy Terry Prince Story. It's part of our African Americans in early rural New England project that PVMA has been involved with for over 30 years. A lot of our documents are in our research library, which are fascinating. We were awarded a grant money to complete this website in 2024, December 2024, but the money was rescinded by the federal government in April, this past April. We got an email that was in our spam from DOJ. It was in our spam because it wasn't a legitimate government email. So we are currently seeking non-government funding so this website can be completed. We already have a prototype. And all the writers, artists, researchers, tech people can have the job that they were counting on. But most importantly, it's really a story that needs to be told. Please come visit us at Memorial Hall Museum down in Old Deerfield, not just down the hill. Admission is free. We always appreciate donations, though. The Barbie exhibit is back for one more year. It's expanded and redesigned. Barbie does have a story to tell, and it connects to all the other dolls in our history. Believe it or not, the story to tell, too. And you can meet real-life paleontologist Barbie and real-life paleontologist Ken at our free event on July 5th. Yeah. You can see the flyers on our table. It's going to be the kickoff of Dino Week up and down the valley. And also check out our flyer about our museum. And once again, thank you, legislators. Thank you for all your hard work for Western Massachusetts. It's very much appreciated. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Ellen. How great is PVMA, huh? Can we give them one round of applause? And of course, thanks again to Greenfield Savings Bank for their continued support, not just to the Chamber, but to all of our small businesses, nonprofits, and neighbors. As Tom said, GSB coordinated that bus trip a couple of weeks ago, and there was 50 of us. I thought there was 40, but there was 50 of us that went, and I just think it speaks volumes that GSB coordinated a trip to bring 413 to the State House, and then it's fantastic that they're also supporting today where we're able to bring the State House to 413. So one more round of applause to Greenfield Savings Bank. I'll also say, Tom is punctual. If you know Tom, you know that he is punctual. That bus trip, there was 2 pickups. There was one in Greenfield, one in Northampton. I live in Bernardston. Pickup at Greenfield was 7:30. I put it in my GPS and I said, I'm gonna get there at 7:31, and I know that's too late. So I said, I gotta go right to Northampton. I gotta beat the bus. I pulled in right before. Sure enough. So we will make sure we keep it on time today for my good friend Tom. Yeah, some people had to meet him there. But thank you all for being here. We are so glad you are, and I hope you're glad that you're here too, because you are sitting in some coveted seats. This event sold out in record time this year, which I think might be because the food is so good, thanks to the Eaglebrook Dining Hall team. I personally would love to think it's because, news of my funny jokes have spread far and wide. But in all reality, of course, it's because of the folks that are here sitting to my left. We are so grateful to have these legislators working on our behalf. So let's give them one welcome round of applause. We are only a couple of minutes into this event, and I think this is already the longest stretch I've seen this group stay seated in months, which says a lot, because whether they're at the State House, a select board meeting, a ribbon cutting, touring a farm, sitting in traffic in Route 2, they are always on the move. Their calendars are packed, and that's because their commitment runs deep, and we are just incredibly fortunate to have them with us today. I do want to make the announcement that unfortunately Senator Paul Mark is not feeling well, and Senator Joe Comerford is experiencing a family emergency, so they will not be joining us today. But the best part is that this is a collaborative team, and they really work together, so we're able to make sure that we still are going to have a robust discussion. And I appreciate this delegation so much, but I also appreciate the incredible human beings that they employ as their staff. The support staff for this delegation is amazing. So just a quick shout out to Elena Cohen, who will be here representing Senator Comerford, and also to Corinne, who's here. I think I saw Corinne earlier. There she is in the back. And Kelly, and well, thank you, Kelly. So everyone, can we give the staffers a huge thank you? All right. I would also like to recognize that we're joined today by Deerfield Selectman Tim Hilchey. Welcome, Tim. And by Franklin County Sheriff Lori Streeter. There's Lori. Amazing. We've got some new members in the House. Welcome to Ellen and Scott Purrington of Wellington Shields and Company. Welcome, Ellen and Scott. And a warm welcome to Carol Conrigan, who is the new executive director with the Children's Advocacy Center. But don't pounce on her yet. She doesn't officially start till July 7th, but we'll get in a warm welcome to Carol. And is Abaz here? Oh, drats. He registered, and this would have been the first time he ever attended breakfast and got to sit down. So I was really excited for him, but next time. We have some other folks we want to celebrate. Last night, late into the night, we had the honor of celebrating Franklin County's brightest writing leaders at the Business West 40 Under 40 Awards at the Mass Mutual Center. Thanks to expert judging by alumni like our very own Brianna Drowan, this year's Business West recognized 9 Franklin County superstars. 9, yeah, that's good. And that group included our panelist, Kobe Gardner-Levine, from Congressman McGovern's office, Greenfield Cooperative Bank's Chelsea DePault, the United Way's Executive Director Jeff Nonheim, the YMCA's Paris Faylogloy, Dr. Allison Vandervelden of the Franklin County Community Health Center, Dr. Nathan Macedo from Bay State Health and the Greenfield Family Medicine Residency Program, and then the Franklin County CDC's Kate Menifee. It was a really exciting night. And fun fact, Franklin County was better represented last year in both awards and in nominations than we have been in years. And then this year we doubled that. So that just speaks to the emerging leadership that we have in Franklin County. So let's keep that going. You can actually nominate someone for next year's award right now. So do that. And while 40 Under 40 Awards spotlight the future leaders of Franklin County, we'd be remiss if we didn't also take a moment to honor those whose leadership has helped pave the way. And today we have the bittersweet honor of recognizing 2 of those incredible community leaders as they prepare to retire. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to YMCA Executive Director Grady Vigneault, and to Community Action Pioneer Valley Executive Director Claire Higgins. We have been so fortunate to have these 2 at the helm. Their leadership has moved mountains, and their legacies will continue to inspire long after their well-earned retirements begin. Strong leadership, you may have noticed, has been a defining theme this year, and if you've joined us throughout the season, you know that our chamber breakfasts have matched that energy every step of the way. In September, we caped our first ever Franklin County Superheroes with our Community Awards program at the Tech School. Remember that first class of superheroes? We're bringing it back. You'll also be able to nominate a Franklin County superhero here pretty shortly, so stay tuned for that link. We heard from our legacy family business owners in March and then learned how we can AI for the future with AI technology in April. I know that's one of those that it's just so much better when you read it, but it's fun. But every month we have centered our speakers around Franklin County specific topic with the hope that you learn something new and that you leave the event feeling more connected and better informed than when you arrived. And that community connections to each other is incredible. It just ripples out into the community in the most amazing ways. And that is one of my favorite parts of this job. I get to see it daily. Collaboration is the secret sauce in Franklin County, and the reason that we'll be able to help these legislators tackle the many challenges that we're going to talk about here shortly. We do it together, and your investment in supporting local initiatives and our work as a chamber demonstrates that you see the value that we add to fueling Franklin County's economic resiliency and bringing our communities closer to becoming the thriving, inclusive, and sustainable spaces we know they can be. And even as a small but enthusiastic team of 2 at the Chamber, we are proud at the progress that we're making in pursuit of that goal. For example, this year, we hosted and welcomed you all at 16 community connection events and celebrated new businesses with 6 ribbon cuttings. In addition to hosting our own events, we attended more than 428 member and community events, most of which I arrived at on time, to ensure that the Chamber's presence is felt across all industries and all corners of the county. We met with businesses, nonprofits, and elected officials and stakeholders from all 26 Franklin County communities, welcomed 42 new members, and endorsed community initiatives through 71 support letters. It's a lot of support letters. And please remember, as we are having these discussions, if you need a support letter, just reach out. We are happy to provide those. We strengthen collaborations with community partners and help shape local priorities through participation on 28 community-based boards and committees. Having a seat at so many important tables allows us to strengthen the voice of the businesses and nonprofits we represent and helps ensure that the power of Franklin County's presence is felt across the state. In November, we relaunched the Franklin County gift card, giving residents a tangible and exciting way to support local. And then in May, we partnered with the very generous Merrill Gagne and Gagne Wealth Management for a buy 25, get 50 promotion, which sold out in 2 hours. And that was with a technical glitch and is set to inject $20,000 into our community. So it's a great way to keep money locally. In February, we were awarded the Downtown Revitalization Contract, allowing us to partner with the CDC and FERCog to hire a downtown district coordinator and pilot a first-of-its-kind regional coordination model. This is brand new work, and it's interesting how other areas in the state are looking to us as the trailblazers here to see what we're doing. We're excited to share a major update with that project next week, so stay tuned. We awarded more than $20,000 in sponsorship and mini grants to support capital improvements, events, and visibility to our members, small businesses, and nonprofits. And then because karma's real, earlier this month, we got the exciting news that thanks to the advocacy of Senator Mark and Senator Joe Comerford, we received a $40,000 earmark in the FY26 budget, 100% of which will be reinvested directly into supporting Franklin County small businesses. So more on that soon. And that's just the chamber side of the house. As you know, we're also one of 16 regional tourism councils in the state, and we've got some pretty big wins on that side too. So in fiscal year 2024, we welcomed 4.5 tourists for every one Franklin County resident. And that's not just a fun stat, that's real economic opportunity. Because when we welcome visitors, we also welcome their wallets. And as a result, tourists injected $105 million into our economy last year, supported 934 local jobs, and increased tax receipts by 23%, contributing nearly $2 million back into our community. This year, our successful 1038 grant application secured the largest RTC grant awarded to Franklin County ever. It nearly doubled our previous funding, and as a result, we've already invested $325,000 in just the past 11 months to market. Yeah, that's right. $325,000. I'm just making sure Chris is here. I want him to make sure he quotes me correctly. In the past 11 months to market the region and drive foot traffic to our local businesses, attractions, and downtowns. Our chamber-led marketing campaigns are strategic, creative, and targeted. We are not just casting a wide net, we are casting the right net. And we're using tools like Placer AI, which is a software that the chamber purchased. It's a location intelligence software to help us understand who's visiting, what they're looking for, why they're coming, and how we can turn a weekend trip into a lifelong love affair with Franklin County. We put Franklin County on the pages of Yankee Magazine and the Wall Street Journal. We hosted 6 familiarization tours with travel writer influencers from across the county, across the country. I just want to say one of my favorites was this cocktails and culture tour. It was the theme that we did. And as part of that, we stopped at Champneys and they got to sample margaritas. And then we went to Sweet Lucy's where they had a cooking class to learn how to make macarons. And Lucy was so patient with that group because margaritas and then macarons is a really interesting choice we made. They were delicious. They didn't look good, but they were delicious. But that was a really fun group. And consistently, Franklin County ranks highest among those tours in terms of experience. So we're excited to kind of move more into that field and in the next fiscal year. And then, best of all, our new Franklin County Guidebook goes to print today. So we are excited to start setting that out. It's going to be located at 300 tourist-heavy locations across New England. So next time you're on your vacation, if you decide you don't want to do a staycation, look for our guidebook. You might see your face. We've made incredible strides from national media plans to creative marketing that showcases everything Franklin County has to offer. But as proud as we are of those wins, we also know that telling a compelling story is just one part of the equation. Behind the beauty and momentum, real challenges remain, and Tom already kind of mentioned some of those, but just to frame the context for today's conversation, not that we're not all acutely aware, but I do want to remind folks that Franklin County is home to 70,000 residents, 40% of whom are over the age of 40. Our tax base is 75% residential, which can restrict our ability to attract and retain high-paying employers. That's often limited by affordable housing, aging infrastructure, and workforce and transportation gaps. We face the same complex issues as other parts of the state, with the exciting extra element of being the most rural county in the Commonwealth, which is something we are all constantly reminding Boston is that, yeah, we all have these challenges, but we also suffer from decades of disinvestment and we're rural. So we're pushing that front. But the good news is we're also one of the scrappiest and most collaborative. And thanks to the efforts of our community and the fierce advocacy and hard work of our legislative delegation, we've caught the attention of this administration and made it clear that rural priorities must be state priorities. Every year I stand up here and I talk about the work ethic of this group, and that is important. But this year I want to highlight something equally as important and far less common in politics, and that is kindness. Every person seated at this table leads with integrity, empathy, and a genuine desire to make Franklin County and Western Massachusetts a better place for us all. And even if we don't share all the same political views or perspectives, I take enormous pride and comfort in knowing that our voices are represented by people who lead with heart. But of course, policy matters too. And that is why we are switching things up this year with a panel-style Q&A. As you may remember, typically we've had our legislators just pop up to the podium and highlight a couple of the priorities they're working on. But this year, since there's nothing else going on, I said, let's throw something new at them. Let's reinvent the wheel and let's make it extra exciting. So a big thank you to our legislators who were totally on board with piloting this new format. I think in the current political climate, there is no shortage of important conversations to have and topics to cover. So we wanted to make sure that today's discussion is relevant, robust, and rooted in what you told us matters most. So thanks to everybody who submitted questions in advance. We are going to get through as many as we can. If we don't get to yours, rest assured that I will pass it along to the legislative team for follow-up. Sound good? Okay, great. To help us cover as much ground as possible, I have asked our legislators to keep their responses to 2 minutes. And I put it in bold and all caps. So I think they're going to follow instructions. I'm tempted to say that because we're down 2 legislators, you could push it to 3, but I'm not going to. Bold, all caps, 2 minutes. But in the interest of time, I'm going to be directing questions specifically to certain panelists, but please keep in mind that they are all experts on the issues we're talking about today. They could all talk at length about any number or one of these topics. So, just a reminder that this delegation really works as a team and that works to our benefit. So with that said, yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but may we pause and give Jesse Dean a standing ovation?
That is so kind. Are you going to make me cry before 9 o'clock? Thank you. That is so kind. Thank you. All right. Well, let's see if you still like me after we test drive this new format. We'll see how that goes. But are we ready to dive in? Okay. Opening question. This is for everyone. We know that each of you could easily fill this entire program with the work that you're doing on behalf of our communities. To get us started, can each of you share one key initiative or priority you're working on right now that's especially relevant to Franklin County?
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Kobe Gardner-Levine. I work for Congressman Jim McGovern. And for this first question, One thing I want to highlight is the Congressman's desire to fight for our healthcare system and not for cuts to our healthcare system. As we know, Franklin County, as Jesse just said, is a rural county, and these cuts have such a disastrous impact if they go through in the way that they're being advocated for by some in Washington. And when I think of these cuts, I'm thinking of cuts to federal Medicaid, I'm thinking of cuts to Medicare, I'm thinking of cuts to Social Security, and I'm thinking of what that would mean for our county. I mean, I'm thinking about the community health centers and our other clinics here that so many rely on for these services, these basic services. And if these cuts go through in the way that some are asking that they go through, we're talking about a reduction in the quality of services. We're talking about a reduction in potentially services altogether in some cases. And that is something that I just want to promise all of you that Congressman McGovern is fighting every day in Washington to prevent. So thank you for that.
Getting our steps in this morning. This is great. It's good to be with you all. Jesse Dean, you're amazing. Thank you for having us, and thank you for proposing the standing ovation for Jesse. She deserves it for everything she does every single day. We are fighting for everything. Here in Western Massachusetts, literally, as a delegation, we are fighting for everything. Whether it's public transportation, housing, agriculture, equitable access to public health, economic development, reversing declining population trends that we're seeing here in Western Massachusetts. It is all of these things all the time for us. And we're thinking about this every single minute of every single day. And we would not be able to accomplish the things that we've been able to accomplish without each other. I first want to recognize the strong partnership that we have here in Western Massachusetts with the 4 counties, particularly here in Franklin County, though, because we rock. But also, we wouldn't be able to do it with you. I want to recognize Tom and Greenfield Savings Bank. I mean, when they came onto the floor of the House, legislators were like, who the hell is this? How did you get so many people into the State House? Greenfield Savings Bank brought a bus. And I can't thank you enough. It really meant the world to have you there. I want to talk about Gary, LifePath. I'm getting ready for our first committee hearing. And who rolls into a committee room but Gary? I'm like, what are you doing here? And he was there to advocate for the things that LifePath is working on. So whether you're helping to support us right here in the district, or you're coming into the State House, I want you to know how truly impactful it is and how much you lift us up. Because sometimes it can feel like this fight is really, really hard. But to see all the people in this room here together working with us makes it that much easier. So I just want to thank you all for helping to support us in all of the things that we're doing, because it really does feel like it's everything right now.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Saunders. I'm a state representative for the 7th Hampden District, a district that runs from Ludlow in Hampden County up through Hampshire, Franklin, and into Worcester County and Petersham. And in addition to getting a number of miles under my feet, it gives me the opportunity to really see the incredible work that is done here at the Franklin County Chamber. And Jesse, you have outdone yourself again, not only in the organization and the efforts to ensure that we in the legislative delegation understand what the pressing issues are, but also to organize for folks to show up, whether it's here, Boston, and everywhere in between. I'm gonna second everything that Natalie said, because we have to take an all the above approach. But I do want to mention one item in particular that I'm working on this year very closely with Senator Comerford, and that's water. Now we have a bill on the Quabbin when we talk about equity. We've been shortchanged by the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority for decades. And this is not a gripe about losing 4 towns 80 years ago. This is an issue about the enduring impact that taking on the responsibility of stewarding the water and the land in the Quabbin region have on our communities, especially our rural communities. We're asking the ratepayers who drink that water to do a little bit more. And when I tell you a little, we're talking about a couple of cents a month. They would make transformational differences for the communities and the nonprofits in Western Mass. But our water efforts don't end there. I was proud to work with my colleagues in the Franklin County and four-county delegation for the first time, and I want to say 40 years, to put together a water plan. We secured $150,000 in the House budget. The last time this was done, and the effort was led by the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, the title of the report was Preparing for Y2K. I'll give you some context. When we talk about reversing population decline, when we talk about economic development, when we talk about the types of next generation technologies, we need water, and we need the responsible use of water. Understanding what resources we have, how to best protect it, and how to most responsibly utilize it is going to be essential to the success and growth of Franklin County and quite frankly, all of Western Mass. And I'm excited to be working with my colleagues this session and likely sessions beyond on this issue. And I invite your support as well. We are all in this together, and it's heartening to see so many again this year, and perhaps next year we'll get a bigger room. So, enjoy the morning. We're looking forward to the balance of the questions, and I'm pleased to introduce my colleague, Susie Whips.
FCAT, close enough.
Very great.